Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. My name is Kessler still and you're watching EV Ascension. As you guys can tell, I'm doing this on a budget. I'm just using my screen recording on my MacBook to do this with no mic and stuff like that, just the computer. Okay, so I think for this, I think I've mastered the preconditioning in the Kia EV6. So I have a 2024 Kia EV6 all-wheel drive long range. And so to take all the data, I use the VPEAK OBD2 scanner that I got from Amazon. And when I connected the scanner, I got this. So the battery minimum temperature was about 25 degree Fahrenheit, and the heater was 32, and the battery state of charge was about 31.5%. Then after that, I opened the EA app and check the charging station. This saying is about 12 miles away, but when you put on the map, it's showing 16 miles away. So now in here, you can see this temperature is 32, the battery heater is 32, and now it's 33.8. So this is when the preconditioning kicked in. And mean in about 2 minutes, like when you put the location, the car will start heating the battery like about 2 minutes. Right, so the outdoor temperature, the outside like temperature was about 13 degree Fahrenheit, and the battery minimum temperature was about 25 degrees here. And then after that, I drove to the station and I parked very close to the EA station. I don't know if this happened to other stations, but when you're very close to the station, the car system will shut off the preconditioning. So I knew that will happen, so I parked about 0.2 miles away from the station, very close, and the battery was still heating. Right, so you can see the battery heater is still up, and the minimum battery temperature is about 46.4 degree Fahrenheit. So I knew that this was not, I mean, it's okay in a sense, but it may not be good enough for you. Like, if you connect if you connect the car to the station at this temperature, when the battery is at temperature, you may not charge it enough. Like, the speed of the charging station may not start increasing until you pass the main threshold for the speed to increase. So I knew that, so I didn't want to do it. So I waited until this. Okay, so this is just showing that I was 0.2 miles away from the station, and by that, when I waited and the battery reached 69.8 degree Fahrenheit, and you can see the battery heater here is still increasing. But after that, after a minute, uh, the preconditioning stopped. So the preconditioning in EV6, I'm not sure if it's the same way for the other E-GMP cars, but I know for the Kia EV6, the minimum temperature for the preconditioning to start, meaning that it has enough, like the battery is warm enough to accept the full capacity of the charger. Right? So I waited until it's done. So you can see here in the beginning, it was 69.8 degree Fahrenheit and battery heater is up. And now the preconditioning stopped and this started to decrease. And by then I had 20% in the battery. The battery still charged, and the outside temperature is about 15 degrees, 14.9. Right, so when after the preconditioning stopped, so I drove like the 0.2 miles to the station, and by that, like about 2 minutes, I think, 9:02, 9:04. So it took me 2 minutes to drive there, and so you can still see the battery minimum temperature gonna still say high, right? 71.6, so about 72 degrees Fahrenheit. And yeah, I'm still at 20%. I mean, it's good enough. Yeah. So if you waited to do the preconditioning when you have 20%, the car system will not let you do it. Because you will want to save the remaining energy for the car or for the drive, right? So wherever you're going. So the best way to preconditioning your car is wait till it's at 30%. Like I waited at 31%, 31.5. And then when the preconditioning started, it was at 31%. And by the time everything is done, I'm at 20%. That my AC was a little on, right? I think it was at 69 degrees. Yeah. So the best way to do this is to wait till your battery state of charge it's at 30%, so you can like take about 10% of the battery to warm it up. Right? Yeah, so I got to the station, battery was still 20%. The outside temperature is about 15 degrees Fahrenheit. You can see the station here. So this station usually, whenever you get there, there's still gonna be a queue. So I want the EA to expand this thing because the space on the right side and the space on the left side, right? And this is the only EA station in the city, right? So I mean, there's a Tesla downtown, where most of us cannot connect to Teslas, like I think version 3 or the lower version that only Tesla can connect. And then there's another Tesla supercharger about 30 miles away, something like that. Yeah, I was I was not gonna go there and try to test it. And Tesla can't really charge E-GMP cars properly, and Kia doesn't really have access yet, because you have to put Hyundai, and then Hyundai. Uh, when you put Hyundai, Tesla will still charge your car in a sense, but sometimes it doesn't work. So I haven't tried. I want to test it and see, like, if I warm up my battery and see how long it will take and the speed. All right. Okay. So oh no, I skipped way too many things. Where are you? Where are you? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I got there at 20%. Outside was 15 degrees Fahrenheit. Battery minimum temperature, it's about 72 degrees Fahrenheit, meaning it's ready to take everything EA has to offer, right? Alright, okay, what else? So this is the stall I use to charge. So this one, I think the what kind of car was it? The my key was trying to charge here. Um, he kept having problem, so he ended up backing up, and I took the spot and tried it out. And I knew he was using this, the left, the left side. I don't know if he tried the right side, but the last tryout, it did use the left side. So this one was not working. So I used this, and everything went fine. Okay, not the end session yet. So I took a screen recording of everything. So how fast it was charging and stuff like that. Like the old video I posted. So I'm gonna play most of it. I mean, not all of it because there's like 20 something minutes. So let's start. Yeah, okay. Before I do that, so by then, uh, my battery was about 19.5. So it was decreasing because I was using the AC. It's cold, and yeah. So I started charging. I went to the EA. Okay, and I move on to the main screen of the scanner. Right, so you can see here the charger is still at zero, battery power at zero. You can see it start increasing. This will start to increase faster, so 0.4, and then we're gonna crank up. So 2, 9, 19, 28, 49, 56 kilowatt, 79, 80, and I keep going up, keep going up. By the time this go to 1%, it's at 170. I use 150 kilowatt stall, so 150 kilowatt, and so by 1%, not even 1%, so by I think half a percent. Let's see, let's go back a little bit. Okay, so we're still at 20. I connected at 19.5. Let me go back a little bit. Okay, so 19.5. Increasing by the time we're at 20, the charger output 170 something. Yeah, it went crazy. I don't like to use the 350 kilowatt because whenever I connect to these things, always a mess. So there's always something happen. So I don't like to do it. So I feel better whenever I start charging at 150 because um, this speed will be constant way longer. The EA app was still acting up, so I ended up leaving everything in here. So you can see it's cranking up to 174, 173 something. It's gonna stay like that until 60 something percent. When the battery still charged with 60 something percent, and you can see the charger or the charging start the speed chart start to decrease. Right, so I'm gonna skip most of this and go towards start to decrease. Right, so you can still see we still at 173, about 174. Right, it's still going strong. Right, 50% still going crazy. All right, and then 59 still 174, and then after that, like when you reach I think 61, 61 or 62, the charge start to decrease, I think. We got 60%. We're still going at 173 kilowatt. 173. Let's see when it starts to decrease. At 61, still 173. 62. Oh, was it 62 or 65? Okay, so we're still going up at 62, 62%. Still 174. 63 going down a little bit, but not too much. 64, 174. Yeah. So it started to decrease at 64%. So the battery still charges at 64% and it go down to the 157 now. Right? So about 158. And so it's not gonna increase anymore. So it's gonna go, yeah, it's gonna hover around 100 something until we reach 80% state of charge, and it's gonna start decrease again. It's gonna keep hovering around 150, 120 something. Right, so I'm gonna skip a lot of here. So you can see here. So go back to 150. So it keep hovering around 150, 120 something after you pass 64% state of charge. And then by the time you're 80, so I think go way down at 80 or 81. At 78. Okay, so my car is telling me in 10 minutes I'll be done. Alright, so it's gonna start decreasing a little more when you reach 80%. And that's why it's recommended to charge your car at 80%, like either E-GMP cars or some other cars. Like if you don't have E-GMP, 800 volts, so this close to 800. So at 80%, we down to 120. Yeah, so now we're gonna keep hovering until like 85, and then we go down. And so let's skip this a little bit, go faster. 81. Yeah, so by 82, go lower. Yeah, and by 85, we're not gonna go over 100 kilowatt anymore. Right, so by 83 degree, we're around 98%. Yeah, I didn't charge 100%. I just charged till 90 because I don't live very close to the station, so I kept a little buffer so it can take 5% to go home. Like if I decide to do something else on my way home or something like that. So by 85%, we're around 80 something kilowatt. Right, so if the tick mark in the stop charging, if they had a 5% scale, like I would do it because you can go to 89, 80, 90, 100, and lower. If there was a 85% on the car, I didn't want to do it like manually, so I let the car do it for me. So by 86, we were around 70 something. and I start charging at 9. So I usually start charging at 9 because by the time I get home, we're around 80 something. Right, so let's go faster now so we can be done with the test. And so by 88, we're around 50 something. By 89, that's how much a new charge, right? Around 50 something. When it's not cold, it's super cold now, but yeah. Okay. Let's, let's see how fast. Yeah, I'm gonna increase this until it's over. Let's go faster. Close to 90, so let me leave it at maybe 1. So by 89.5 by 90%. Okay, I start, right? Because I start the charge at 90%. So you can see here by 85 point something, 89.5% still charge. The car is still charging above 40. And then by 90, I stop. So it's recommended 80%, but for my case, I leave it to 90 because I drive a lot, guys. So that's why I leave it at 90%. And yeah, so by the time we're done, Batterman is at 89.6 degree Fahrenheit. Uh, Outdoor temperature outside is about 14 degree Fahrenheit, so it's cold, under freezing. And yeah, so I start at 90, and I went home. Okay, so this is the. Uh, it took me about 25 minutes. It will take less. It would have taken less if I left it at 80, but I like the 90 better because of my case. But it's better to do it at 80%. So you don't have to wait 10 minutes more because remember in here, after 70 something, the car tell me that I have 10 minutes. Yeah. So by 78%, the car tell me in 10 minutes it will be 90%. And then it stop at 90. Yeah. Yeah, so it took me about 25 minutes because of my case, but it would have taken shorter if I did 80%. And EA always rate this as 89 because the car will say 90, and then the plus or minus discrepancy of the time will show this as 89. And my max speed was 174 on 150 kilowatt chargers installed. Yeah, I don't like to use. I mean, there's a line to wait to do this, but I was happy it was the 150 kilowatt that was free because I don't like to use the 350 kilowatt stall. So this is better because as you can see in the video, the 100 something, like it kept the 170 something percent for very long, right? So all of this, right? So it started at 170 around 20.5. So by 1%, the charger put 1% in the car. It's already at 73 kilowatt, 174, and then it kept going to that value until 65. Let's see. Yeah. So by 65%, 65% state of charge, it go to 150 something, and it stay around this value until it reach 80 something. So it's it stay around 150 to 120 until 80%. Then by 80%, you go down to 120, then under 100, yeah, around 100. And then by 83, 83, 85, we go under 100 kilowatts. See? And then after 85%, we go under 50. Like around 70 something until 50 something. Yeah, actually it's not. It's above 50. 70, 60 something. And then by 80, let's see. Yeah. Go down to 50 around 87%. And then keep going that until 89. Yeah, by 89 it's 48, and then it's over. Because I stopped the car, the charging at 90%. Yeah. So there's multiple ways to do this, but I find that when you wait till the car it's about 30% state of charge, so it stop at 90 here, right? 90% and the charger stop. Yeah. So it took me 25 minutes because I waited till 90. It's way shorter than this if you wait till 80. Yeah, so let me go back to the first screen. This one, I think. Not this one. Where we had 20%. Yeah, so I feel like between 30 and 20%, you get enough heat in the battery. See, at 31%, we're still not preconditioning. Preconditioning started at 31. You can see here battery heater kicked in, and then by the time the battery state of charge is at 20%, we already done. And also the car system, if this was not 69.8%, like let's say it was 60 something or less, and the battery state of charge was at 20%, the system will have cut the preconditioning. And so if you waited under 30% to do it, and then by the time this reached 20, the car will tell you that it will just stop the preconditioning because you want to save the remaining of the battery to do other things, right? And then I got home. When I got home, the battery like we lost 2%, 89, right? Yeah, so we lost 2%. I lost 2% by going home from the station. Like if my car had a 85% mark, I would have stopped it at 85%, like automatically. I don't like to do it manually, so that's why I leave it at 90, and then by the time I get home, it's either at 88 or 85, depending on what I do after I finish charging. Like so, whenever I charge at night, so I usually go straight home, and if I don't go straight home, so by the time I get home, we're around like 80 or 85%. And then yeah, yeah. So I find out that the best way to do it is to do 30 to 20. So you start preconditioning at 30%, and then by the time you're 20%, the battery is fully charged. It's fully ready to take everything the charger is. Yeah. So by the time you reach 20%, the battery minimum temperature is at 69.8 degree Fahrenheit. So this means that you're ready to take whatever the charger is able to give you, right? So you can tell the EA station was able to give me 170 something from 21% uh, until 68, and then from 68 to 80 something, I was getting around 150, 120 something. Then when I reach 85, I go around like 70, 80. And then when I get like the car get close to 90%, like 80 something, you get 50, 49, 50, and then stop at 90. Yeah, guys. So I did this. I usually do this as a test. So I was trained as a scientist, so I feel like it was nice. Uh, it was not like the other day under like -2 degree Fahrenheit outside, so it was not warm, but it was not that crazy cold like last time. Alright, thank you for watching, and if you like the video, let me know. Just like and comment. And if you want me to do something, you can leave a comment also. I may try to do it. You can also see that I just do this for fun, like a fun video. I'm not really a YouTuber yet, so you can see my page is like unfinished business. Alright, okay. Alright, thank you for watching, and if you like the video, let me know. Like, leave a comment. Alright, take care guys, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.